Hello there, good afternoon and welcome to The Pulse. Don't forget that this afternoon we are coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. We're also live on your digital terrestrial TV because we are free to air. You can also catch us live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 144. This is Joy News, independent, fearless and credible. Coming up this afternoon, tidal waves render over 400 residents of Anglo Beach, a community in the Shamar district of the Western region, homeless.
The tidal wave was so high, said that it washes away so many houses around the coast.
If you look at how people have been displaced, I mean, it's very bad.
Stay with us as we speak to authorities on finding alternative shelters for displaced families. Also coming up on The Pulse, we anticipate more heavy rains and storm and strong winds as well. That's likely to have some damaging effects on weak buildings. We'll hear from the Ghana Meteo Agency as they predict lightning and flash floods in the south. And we also have sports and entertainment here on The Pulse. My name is Blair Sogah. Don't forget that The Pulse, as always, is brought to you by Global Communities, Dignilu, affordable, safe sanitation. We are streaming also live on YouTube and all of our social media handles. You can join us there. It's JoyNews on TV. Feel free to tweet at us with the hashtag The Pulse. My personal handle is at Blair Sogah. Thanks for choosing us. Well, so let's start this bulletin from the Western region this afternoon, where more than 400 residents of Anglo Beach, a community in Shamar district, have been displaced by tidal waves. Anglo Beach, for several years now, has been bearing the brunt of tidal waves, as over 90% of households in that community have been washed away by the sea. Correspondent Natalia Konsa has been engaging residents in this report.
This is not the first time Anglo Beach has been hit by a destructive tidal wave. The situation has become an annual ritual whereby households and properties are often destroyed by tidal waves. The community, which lies in between the Pra River and the sea, now has about 90% of households swept into the sea, making the occupants homeless. The affected residents were spotted either counting their losses or carrying the few items they could salvage into their new place of abode, which is either with some family members or the church. District Chief Executive for Shamar, Ebenezer Daze, together with some members of the District Security Council, were in the community to assess the situation. According to the DCE, a land allotted for their relocation has become a point of litigation by two families.
And if you look at how people have been displaced, I mean, it's very bad. And so we spoke to them and we gave them the assurance that something is going to be done. That is to move them permanently to the resettlement area. That's what we've agreed on. They themselves have agreed that they are ready to move, and so we are also ready to help them. We know there are disputes about the land, and on Friday we are calling all those involved and then talk to them that we can't wait any longer. Life is very important, and so we can't sit down on concern for us to waste life and properties. So we move them. When you have any case, come to us for us to settle.
Assembly member for Anglo Beach, Samuel Bolu, bemoaned the fact that over 90 households in the once beautiful community have been washed away. He, however, was happy with the intervention of the district assembly towards resettling the people.
The tidal wave was so high, said that it washes away so many houses around the coast. And then today, as we see here, the NADMO boss himself came from Accra, brought some items, some relief items to the community, and then the DC and the MP has also assured the community that they will be moving to the new site. So, I mean, you could see that the community is so much happy. For the last 3 days, we have lost about 30 houses, but if you add up, you make it cumulatively, I would say it will be in hundreds.
Here, as the Director General for the National Disaster Management Organization, Eric Nana Ajiman Prempe, who visited the community with some relief items.
There was a tidal waves disaster that affected the people of Aron Beach. This is not the first time. In 2017, I was here. It happened, and we keep on advising them to move to the safest place. But when we came today, we were told that there was some land litigation. Because of that, they couldn't move to the place. But we are grateful to the MP and the DC. They've been able to settle most of the land litigations. And you could see the 2017 when we came, the people were not willing to move to the new site. Today, they are all willing. I'm so happy. All of them are willing to move to the new site. And that is what we thank God for. So we are here, one, on behalf of the president and government, to empathize with them for what has happened to them, and also to present some relief items to the people also. So that is why we are here. It is a sad thing, but we thank God there was no death records or other human incidents.
For JoyNews, in Athalia Kwanza, Long Beach.
Well, it's time now to get some updates for you. Let's find out if Natalia Kwanza has more for us. She's joining us via Zoom. Natalia, have the authorities assured the communities of finding alternative shelters for them?
Well, blessing. So for now, those who have lost their homes are residing with relatives and then the churches within the community. But just as indicated, now the two fractions which were fighting over a land litigation have assured that they are going to give them the land for these community members to be relocated. So that is the solution for now.
How about the residents themselves? What sense do you get from them as to how they are feeling now, and whether or not they are putting in place some measures just by themselves as well to move into safety?
Well, blessing, this has been an annual ritual, just like indicated by the assembly member since 2017. It's something that happens. So for now, the only solution is to reside with families or the few houses that has been left there, and then wait for what the district assembly will do, or the permanent solution. We are hoping that the relocation happens fast. They get a permanent place to live.
And about NADMO as well, we know that they've been mobilizing their officials to get into the community. What assurances are we getting from them? And at least you've been to the area as well. Are you able to tell us if indeed relief items are being sent to the communities as we speak?
Sure, blessing. So yesterday, the Director General of the NADMO came there and brought them some relief items. So I can confirm to that some relief items have been brought to the people.
Long-term solutions. Did you get any answers on that from the Director General of NADMO?
Well, he didn't really specify, but what he said was he was happy that at least the litigation of the land, because Blessing, I have been covering the Long Beach since 2017 with the issue of tidal wave, and it has always got to do with relocation and resettlement at the place which there was a litigation. So now that the litigation, the DC says that has been settled, I think that will be the long-term solution to relocate these residents.
I'm grateful, Natalia Kwanza there, joining us with the latest on this matter. Thankfully, we are joined now by the District Chief Executive for the area, Ebenezer Dati, who's on phone with us. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. So what measures are you putting in place, first of all, to move a significant population into safety? And in terms of long-term solutions, have you concluded on what's the best approach in solving this perennial problem?
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you also for your listening. And like you said, what we are doing currently is to, first of all, engage the litigants. We scheduled a meeting on Friday that we are telling them what the decision that the assembly has taken. And the decision is that we are moving them from their current location to the resettlement area. This has been a bone of contention over the years. In fact, the area has been there for a very long time. And this issue, this is not the first time. it has come up, like your correspondent said, several times. But whenever the assembly is ready to take a decision, then litigants will come in. The matter is in court. But this time round, we told them that we can't stay down because we can't play with people's lives and property. If you look at what happened there, and a lot of houses being destroyed, many people being displaced, and you sit down and wait for them to always be in dispute, I mean, then it means the assembly, we are not also doing well.
Right, but is your decision informed by expert opinion or expert advice, particularly when we know this is an area which is a settlement many persons have been at for quite a long time. Moving them away from this place would not be an easy task. So what's informing, first of all, what's informing that position? Is it being advised by the experts?
Exactly. We involved a lot of people in this decision. Like I said already, I've discussed with the MP, the regional minister, and then the experts also, the assembly lawyers and all others, they are all involved in this matter. And so the decision is that we have to move them to the waste settlement area. That will be the permanent solution, because you can't leave them there. And then always the issues keep on coming up.
Right.
You can't leave them there.
So give us a sense of where you're moving these persons to. How many people are we talking about, and where are you moving them to? Have you earmarked some communities, new places that you're moving all of these persons to?
Yes, the area is the same Awuna Beach, but that land is far from the beach. It's far from the beach, and so that is where we are moving them to. The new area, the assembly has drawings and all that, where demarcations will have to be done, and then each person will know where to put up a building and all that. All those things have been done, and so it's a new place. They've all agreed to move, and then we will start the market. But as at yesterday, the assemblyman organized a communal labor, and they started reading the place. So when that is done, and we are also done with the meeting on Friday, by next week, they will start putting up the structures for themselves. And then when that is done, we've also spoken to the companies around that also come to our aid. In our enclave here, we have VRA, we have people, we have a lot of companies.
So yes, even before that, let's get this clear. So what you're telling us now is that the relocation exercise may not happen immediately. That would still have to be subject to... No,
it's happening immediately.
Right.
It's happening immediately. But latest by next week, they are moving.
Have you done enough consultation? Have you been in touch with the leadership of the community to ensure a seamless...
Exactly. We've done all that. The chief, yesterday, when the Director General came, we met the whole community, the chief and elders, and the entire community. They were all there, and they are all happy that this decision has been taken, and they are all moving. They are all happy with it because they know what happened to them. They know what is happening to them, and they can't always be sitting there whilst losing their property.
Do we know about the numbers involved?
In fact, for the current situation, the number is about 650. They're about 650. And the houses are about 140.
Do you intend to pay compensation?
Compensation for...
relocation, I guess.
For the relocation.
Precisely.
No, for now, no. For now, no. That is why I'm saying that we've spoken to some companies around to come to our aid, and some of them have agreed to support us in this direction.
Anyway, we'll have to leave it here. Ebenezer Datse is MC for DC for Shama, joining us and giving us the latest on what the local authorities there intend to do. We'll be watching that space, bring you some updates in our subsequent bulletins. Let's shift our attention now to Parliament, where the New Jobbing South MP, Michael Otri-Befi, is confident the Privileges Committee will be impartial in the hearing of the 3 NPP MPs referred to the committee over the breaches involved in issues relating to the 15-day rule. Now, we know that the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, sparked a debate on the floor of the House after he referred the Dominic Kwabena MP, Sarah Adjasafo, the Ayasu Central MP, Henry Quarte, and Sind Central MP, Kennedy Japan, for actually absenting themselves from Parliament for 15 sittings. But there are fears the committee chaired by the first Deputy Speaker, Joseph Osei-Owusu, will be biased in their handling of the 3 MPs from the governing New Patriotic Party. But the Deputy Trade Minister, who is also a member of Parliament and a member of the committee, argues that there will be a fair hearing for all 3. He spoke to my colleague, Kwesi Parker-Wilson.
Of the Privilege Committee.
Oh, yeah, member of the Privilege Committee, I see.
And we'll make a... But I think the Speaker was a little harsh on them. I mean, to me, because... they brought permission. They wrote to the Speaker. They didn't just. That's what they said.
Adjasafo wrote to the Speaker.
I'm talking about the other members.
Okay, I'm talking about Adjasafo. We'll focus on the other 2 members.
Yeah.
Henry Quarte and Kennedy Japan.
Yeah. So, I mean, their parliamentarians would have spoken. The Speaker is the head of the chamber, and so he can sometimes give set directions. We are all at his beck and call somehow, so he can just give set directions and. Will gladly abide by his direction.
So, I know you are not the chairman of the committee, but has there been any conversation with the committee members after the Speaker's ruling? I'm
sure the chairman of the committee will call for a meeting on our platform, and then we'll know what to do.
Is the committee going to be fair? Because the majority side are not happy with her. So what's the guarantee that when Adjasafo appears before the committee members will be fair to her? I'm
sure they will be fair to her because she's a member of Parliament. She's still a member of Parliament.
But you say she's giving you trouble. She's giving you problems.
I see.
Won't that cloud their judgment?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we should be able to work well. I mean, we are working as professionals. Working in the interest of Ghana, not our own whims and caprices, things to suit ourselves and what we stand for. We believe that we should be able to do things fairly and giving people the benefit of doubt to express their opinions and also to show remorse or to tell us their opinion about an issue. There's not anything wrong. So we will not behave like that.
So are you going to urge the chairman to apply the rules fairly?
Fairly. I don't have the capacity to make that determination. But being an experienced member of Parliament, the Deputy Speaker will be able to do that well.
The MP also accused the minority of being intolerant of divergent views.
For me, it has not been too good.
Has not been too good?
Yeah, I've had time to have personal conversation with someone, especially the young people. I believe that we are building our own democracy, Ghana's democracy, not MPP's democracy. We are building ourselves too as politicians. The fact of the matter is that MPP cannot be in power forever. A time will come. I mean, the seat will change. NDC may also rule again. I mean, anything can happen. And I don't think that is how the NDC will expect the MPs when they are empowered to conduct business in the House. I don't believe they became so intolerant. They became
intolerant?
Yes.
The minority?
Yes. We will sit down, pay attention to their leaders to speak, and we'll pay so much attention. We will not be talking, creating noise. But anytime our leadership, any person stand up to debate or make a statement, you see that they'll be ridiculing him. They'll be murmurings around. Creating noisy scenes around. That is one of the things that I don't like in the chamber. I believe that. So now it forced some of us also to behave like that, which is not too good. So for me, they have helped us as far as shaping the democracy we want is concerned. But that part is something that I don't like. And the kind of statement they pass, some of the words are so very harsh. especially with their first timers who are backbenchers. Sometimes the way they address our leadership.
So who are you referring to in this?
Some of the backbenchers. I'm a backbencher too. The backbenchers, then the minority backbenchers. Sometimes
can you be specific because I want to know what backbenchers are? Because you're making allegations against the backbenchers.
I'm talking about the backbench. Sometimes they pass certain comments, and that's too good. I'm talking about personal things that.
So how do you feel knowing that your colleagues are doing that to your leadership?
That is the point I'm making. That you see, because I have so much respect for their leadership. God is my witness. If you know, I respect them so much. I call them, and when I respect them so much, and I expect the same thing to be shown to our leadership and our leaders. You don't see that. I mean,
so there's clear disrespect for the minority
yes,
side.
the way they behave, as if they have some absolute powers in the house. They have the license to misbehave. They have the license to do anything they want, and nobody can stop them. That's the meaning. They can make certain utterances, and you look at it and hear, you listen to them speaking, and as if they have some absolute powers.
Well, the Deputy Minister for Education, Reverend John Ntimfojo, is upset about the delay in completing the Regional Education Office Complex for the OT Regional Directorate. The 8-calendar month project, which SOT was cut for by the President in February 2020, is at 30% completion level. The delay has actually compelled the Regional Education Directorate to continue to occupy a 6-unit classroom block facility which was meant for the free senior high school program at Boeman Senior High School at Jasikan. Reverend Fojo hinted government may be compelled to select a different contractor to complete the project. Peter Senu has the rest of the story.
We cannot have this project that should have been completed in 2020 still somehow 60% complete. A little 37, it's not even up to half. Not even 40% complete. So some very drastic decisions will be taken to ensure that it is completed. We are only interested in the completion and not necessarily who does it.
That was the Deputy Education Minister, Reverend John Ntimfojo, obviously not satisfied about the progress of work on the office complex for the OT Regional Education Directorate at Jasikan. The contractor was not on site in person to answer questions, and there was no serious sign of work in progress. But for the delay in completing this project, the OT Regional Education Directorate should be occupying this facility since October 2020. The Regional Directorate has since been occupying a 6-unit intervention classroom facility for students at the Boeman Senior High School at Jasikan. This was to augment the infrastructural deficit for the free SHS program in the school. The sword was cut for the construction of the Regional Directorate in February 2020 when the sitting President Akufo-Addo toured the region. Sema Construction Engineering Limited was scheduled to complete the project within 8 months. The progress of work as of April 2022 is at 30%. This the Deputy Minister is not enthused about.
So far, as you can see, the project is not even up to 40% completion. The others that were awarded around the same time have been completed and handed over. Funds have been made available, but contractor has not been forthcoming. And this is not a development that we are pleased with. So some very urgent actions are going to be taken together with the Ministry of Local Government and Decentralization, who have direct oversight over the project. Even though we at Education are the beneficiary ministry, it is under the jurisdiction of the Local Government Ministry. So we will collaborate with the Minister and ensure that some very urgent decisions are taken to ensure that within the next 6 months this project is completed. We have dedicated Regional Director and her team who are currently not where they are supposed to be, and it is not a situation we are happy about. That is why we are here to inspect. So some decisions will have to be taken. Clearly the contractor has not demonstrated commitment, and therefore what we are interested in is whoever will complete it and within the period and to the quality that we have planned. So we thank you, the media, for your support and your interest even in following up for us to timeously complete this project.
Deputy Regional Minister Joshua Makubu and the Acting Regional Education Director Nana Pugbiajo Bakatai II accompanied the Deputy Minister. The minister also seized the opportunity to interact briefly with students at the Bueman Senior High School on the need to be studious while at school. Peter Sanu for JoyNews.
And now imagine having to build your own community school for your ward to attend a basic amenity that must be provided by the government. This is the plight of residents at Kratchikrom in the Echuma Mpunya district of the Ashanti region. Members of the community set aside a day to have a communal labor to patch the bamboo framework of classroom structures with mud. There's more in the following report.
Kratchikrom DA Basic School, established in 2002, has since been the only basic educational facility for people in their formative years in the community. The school, for the past 20 years, struggles with infrastructural development and study items for effective teaching and learning. Structures at the school, including classrooms, have been developed from mud by the residents of this community. Simon Abwaji is the head teacher of Kratchikrom DA.
The major challenge that we face here is infrastructure development. That's classrooms and then the dual desks and then the mono for the school children. That's a major challenge that we face here.
The pupils, numbering about 358, are sheltered in this makeshift clay structure with inadequate desks to study. Some pupils are compelled to carry from home their chairs to school. The ailing conditions at the school and community have shied away many teachers.
For instance, when I was posted here, I was very, very disturbed. So the same thing applies to some of the teachers. Sometimes when they are posted here, when they look at the structure, they will go and they will not return again.
Kratchikrom, which literally translates as the town of an erudite, may not have any of its pupils live to become what the name of this town depicts, as students of this school do not have access to quality education. But for the fortunate intervention of the Seventh-day Adventist Youth Association, these kids may have a brighter tomorrow. The association, in celebration of the Global Youth Day, donated assorted educational items worth 23,000 Ghana cedis to the school. These included uniforms and stationery to support pupils in this community. Samuel Asante is the president of the Seventh-day Adventist Youth Central Conference.
We were introduced to this town by a teacher who had worked in this area but now works in Kumasi. She's called Rhoda Asamwenchi. She drew our attention to this community and invited us to come and survey the area and see whether we could extend love to impoverished community. And we realized that this basic school lacked a lot of things.
For JoyNews, Emmanuel Bright Kweku reporting.
Well, you need to anticipate more heavy storms and strong winds that are likely to have a damning effect on weak buildings. The Meteo Agency says it has detected 2 heavy storms heading for the country, one from the east and the other from the north as well. GMET is also predicting lightning and flash floods in the south. So joining me now is the head of Central Analysis and Forecasting at the GMET, Felicity Ahian-Fianyo, joining us to have a conversation on this. It's good to have you. First of all, tell us about these storms that are likely to, are they already in, or are we expecting that they would set in the course of the day?
Okay, thank you. Good evening to our dear viewers and listeners. Yeah, the storm is already in the country, as we have observed already over the capital. It's almost a widespread. Every part in Greater Accra has enjoyed the storm, and it still have some slight rain still occurring. And likewise over the Volta region. Now it's over the central region and moving on to the western region. So then the northern portion, that one too has exited into Côte d'Ivoire and part of Mali. But then there is a pop-up that we are watching at Burkina Faso, which is likely to descend down over the upper region. So for today, the storms has passed, and then leaving only cloudiness and then slight rain over some places.
Okay, so what's the force of, and for those of you watching us on TV right now, you can see the imagery there. So just explain this for us, someone who's an average person out there watching all of these information on this document that we are projecting for you. What are they supposed to know about the layouts that you're putting out there?
Thank you very much. Now with GMET, we are trying to improve upon our forecast and make it more visible and more reliable, and then more for everybody to understand what we mean. So on the screen, we have the impact-based forecast for Ghana. That's basically talking about the warning. With this one, we are giving you the time that it's anticipated. We are giving you the risks associated with it using the color codes. So if you see green, it means that just be aware that yes, GMET is anticipating rain over your area. If you see yellow, that means that yes, the storm is almost there. Just be aware, but it has a 40 to 60% chance of the rain going to. And then the red.
Sorry for cutting through, but if you see the map now, it means that parts of the Greater Accra, Volta, Western, and Central region, and then up north as well.
Yes.
These are the areas that you're expecting.
Expecting the storm.
What explains that phenomenon?
The storm were two cells, one over the north and then one over the south, leaving the part of the middle and then the transition. So the white column, they are the areas that we are not anticipating any rain to be formed over there based on the storm that moved in from our east towards the west. But then we are anticipating a localized system that will pop up as a result of these two storms that will affect the Ashanti and then part of Bono Ahafo and then the OT region later in the evening. So with this one, when you pick it like this, you should know the area that we've paired the color codes here. You should know that the north and then the coastal and part of the middle sector, yes, there will be rain today.
And you have another color coding that's covering some parts of the coastal communities, and then somewhere up north as well. Explain that one to us, the one that has...
The yellow and then the brownish.
Precisely.
Yeah, the brownish means that you should be prepared that, yes, the storm is coming. It's over your area, so get yourself ready. So once it starts raining, you should know what to do. For instance, our traders, if you're in the market, we give you this forecast. Once it falls within your area, then you should just be prepared and start packing your things and then move out. When you scroll down you go check that we have indicated the towns that will be affected, and then the time frame has been also added to it. So you should know that between 8 and this time, these are the areas that will be affected, and then between 10 and 12, these are the areas. So we now add the time to it, so you can comfortably work with it. You are at Joy, you wanted to go and pick something at Circle, maybe the rain is expected around 12, so by 10 you can walk and then go and come back.
And I guess the concern out there would also be, what are the dangers associated with this, and what precautions should we be taking right now?
Yeah, this is the start of the season, and when it happens like this, we normally experience the strong winds. We normally experience thunder and lightning, and we all know what comes with strong winds. Either we have the dead branches that normally falls off from trees, or if you have a weak structure, this is the time that we'll be hearing collapse here and there. So this is the time that we need to attend to all these things. If you know your structure is old, I normally put it 30 to 40 years old, it is time that you should call an expert to check it for you, especially the roof and then the wood. And then if you have a tree by your house or wherever, this is the time to go through and see whether there are some branches that are dead, so you can just prune them off. And then when it's raining and you are using the road, the motorist, this is the time we should reduce our speed to between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. I'm not an expert when it comes to
but you're predicting that visibility may drop significantly.
Yes, in a rain, visibility also drops, especially when it's moderate to severe. We have visibility at times less than 100 meters. So when it happens like that, just reduce your speed. Then the road too is a bit slippery or slick. You know, there is water on the surface with the tire being a rubber too, can also affect. So if you are driving at a speed of 80 kilometers per hour and the road is free for you, that you should know that you are going to drive higher in terms of the 80 kilometers you are thinking that you are doing, because there is no friction there. So this is the time that we should. When I was coming around GBC, a car just bumped into the other. So those who normally drive closer to themselves on the road, this is the time that you should give that gap for the next
we need to tell you that you have to be safe out there, be cautious as well. But there's something that we're also on the lookout for. We're on the lookout for how long this would last throughout the week as well. So Felicity, just take us through this one as well.
Yeah. Yes, this is our weekly forecast. Okay. We have the 24, we have the midweek, and then we have the weekend. And this was released last Monday, that's the 24. So the midweek, you could see that we have the color codes there, that the rain will be today and then tomorrow. Then the Friday too, we are still anticipating rain. You can see Greater Accra and part of Volta region is in green. That means we don't have much probability of rain for the weekend. But then the Ashanti B and then part of Oti region, we have a higher probability that there will be rain on the Friday to Sunday. So for tomorrow, for Accra, for most parts of the southern sector, we are not anticipating much, just isolated cases.
But for most of the parts that we're expecting rain, it's also coming with a storm, right? Is that the correct
Yes, it's
prediction?
also coming with the thunderstorms. And then this one is likely not going to be a moving storm like what we experienced today. It's going to form within the country. Though there is a system over Cameroon, but we are still monitoring it. So as it gets closer and the conditions are okay, then we'll release the warning. That's the first one that we have seen. And they indicate the areas that need to. So with the weekend forecast, as we are seeing on our screen, it's telling us that yes, there will be rain over Ashanti, over Brongo and Hafo, Oti region, and then the other parts, per the new region. I'm not too conversant with that. So you should have be prepared that over the weekend there will be rain over
this forecast that you gave today, I mean, came as a surprise, particularly when we know the prediction you made was that the rain patterns were not going to be the same for the year. Given what has happened today, are we likely to see some change in the trend going forward?
We said there will be normal rain over some areas, and then some will have late onsets. We all know Greater Accra last year we had a rain in part of March, but this year I think this is the first time we are getting something like this for the whole region. Yes, the rain have started, and we are going to experience more of this. But then the frequency, at times it can be 7 days time before we'll see another of this nature. But that doesn't mean that there will not be rain again. Those of us that is precisely over the northern portions of the coastline will be getting 1 or 2 rains before another well-organized system will push across.
I'm asking this question because when it came up, a lot of farmers were concerned about the fact that the activities may be affected as a result of the exercise. Are you giving them constant information, enough updates on what to do and what you see going forward into the year?
Yes, we have a session called Agro-Meteorological Unit. They normally deal with the farmers. So we have the 10-day forecast for them. We have the 14-day forecast for them, and then the monthly forecast. So they should just get closer to us, and then they will get it. And we have it. We send it to them via SMS too. We have the official folks too that we also send the information to. So Jimet, we are ready for you, Ghana. So please just get closer to us. Visit our website, Ghana Meteorological Agency, and whatever you are looking for, just request, and then we'll get them to you.
I like the assurance you're giving. Would you say today you predicted on time? Because the criticism, as always, has been that, well, it doesn't come on time. At times it comes and then it's not accurate. I'm sure you've heard that.
Oh, yes. Well, I've been in this for almost 23 years.
Wonderful.
And then on TV, almost 15 years. So it's something that every day somebody will say, yes, I didn't get the forecast on time. Yes, it's true. Yeah. Like this information, on Monday, at the end of the chat discussion, we realized that there will be activities for midweek. And we put it out there, but unfortunately, it has not been highlighted. Then this morning, too, we released a warning, but unfortunately, it has not been highlighted that much. So only a handful of Ghanaians were able to prepare, you understand?
It's
so that is why
that you're raising this point. And I mean, why must it be so important for an average person out there or a Ghanaian to always deal with the GMET information, what you put on your website? Why must I be interested? Someone is out there asking these questions. Well, what would be your response to such a person?
Yeah, I believe that today most people activities has been disrupted, especially the market people. So if you get the information, you can prepare ahead of time. if you have an outdoor activities with this kind of thing, you could have easily rearranged to an indoor. So you need to get the information. If you don't respect GMET forecast or you don't have the faith, between now and October, this is the time that you should come. We are not God, but we are trying our best to serve Mother Ghana. So just come. When we give you the forecast, at times we monitor till the last end. So if there is going to be a change, because weather is never static, it keeps changing from season to season. Every minute something is going on. And here we deal with air mass. And the air mass has different characteristics, you understand? Then the environment, we have built environment, so anything can happen at any time. So that is why we are there 24/7. We have our staff on the field, scattered across the country, and we have a staff at the headquarters that are always looking into, even when you are sleeping, you are thinking about the weather as a staff. So we are ready for them. They should just come on. And then we want you guys to also help us. When we get the information, just put it out there for them. You understand, whether it happens or not. That is why now we brought the probability that when you see 40 and 60, just put it out there. Let them know. You know, we have different types of storms, you know. So if we said it's going to rain, maybe it didn't rain in Joy, but it rained at Sogah, you will say that the forecast didn't happen, but that is not it.
Is it not the case that you're using terminologies that are not friendly with the average person?
I think the one that they've put on, I'm very, very sure that now we have removed virtually almost all the technical words from it. And we are now trying to go into the local languages. Personally, I do away on 1 or 2 stations across the country. I have other colleagues that does the Gan and then the Chi. You understand? So we are also trying our best to put it out there, but still need you, the media houses, to come on board and help GMET.
Obviously, we are partnering you on that journey, but your final words to viewers who may be concerned or worried about what's happened today, concerned that it will travel throughout the week. What do you have to tell them?
Just rest assured. For the rest of the week, we are not anticipating much, especially over the Greater Accra. But for the other part, yes, there is a rain. We have 40 to 60% chance over the Ashanti, Brong, and then OT region. So once we issue, just take it up and then work. Then every morning, just go to our website, Ghana Meteorological Agency, and pick the forecast for the day and prepare yourself.
Felicity, I'm grateful that you've been able to join us. We need to talk about some more matters that are developing. In fact, Germany has decided to expel 40 Russian diplomats in response to Moscow's alleged war crimes against civilians in Ukraine. Let's get further details now from Berlin. Joining us now is correspondent with our partner, Deutsche Welle, Thomas Sparrow. Thomas, first of all, give us updates on this. Why is Germany against the embargo on Russian energy, unlike many other EU countries?
That essentially depends on the dependence that a specific country might have on Russian energy. And in the German case, but not only in the German case, other EU countries as well are also dependent on Russian energy, in particular Russian oil or Russian gas. And the thinking of German politicians when it comes to a possible embargo is that an embargo with immediate effect could not only harm Russia, but it would also harm European economies a lot, with German officials stressing that that could lead to poverty, to mass unemployment, to higher energy prices, to an even higher inflation, to all sorts of economic problems. And that's why German officials have stressed that they need time for preparing these kinds of embargoes. However, what is being discussed, and that's something that Germany is not against, is the possibility of an embargo on Russian coal. Now, that is something that EU officials do believe would hurt Russia and would not hurt at the same time European countries to a very large extent. That is something that's being discussed now. That could actually happen. But Germany, as well as other EU countries that are particularly dependent on Russian energy, are very much reluctant to an immediate embargo on all energy sources coming from Russia.
What we do know is that Germany has announced it will be taking control of some Gazprom's subsidiaries in Germany as well. What's behind this decision?
The background to that announcement by Germany's economy minister and vice chancellor Robert Habeck is the decision by the Russian energy giant Gazprom to separate from its wholly owned subsidiary here in Germany, so Gazprom Germania. And that led, according to German officials, to unclear legal relationships, which then prompted the decision to temporarily assume control of Gazprom Germania. The decision, according to Germany, was to ensure supplies of gas to the country. But what is behind this decision that some may describe as technical is of very important political relevance, because it clearly signals that Germany, as well as other countries in other specific measures, is in a capacity to use energy also as political leverage when it comes to its relationship with Russia. So this is how this decision is being analyzed here. It is particularly important from a German perspective to ensure supplies of gas and other energy sources that particularly come from Russia.
Well, so Thomas, briefly tell us about this. How relevant is Germany's decision to expel this 40 Russian diplomats?
So that decision is as a first reaction to the situation that you see in Bucha in Ukraine, and it is significant not only because of the high number of diplomats, but also because of the reasoning behind that. Annalena Baerbock, Germany's foreign minister, stressed that those people were working in Germany here against social cohesion and peace in the country, and as such, that was a decision that had to be taken. It's, however, important to stress that Germany is not the only European country that has expelled Russian diplomats. There are various other European countries that have made similar decisions, and that has to be seen then as a complement to measures that are being discussed now at a European level when it comes to further sanctions that could be imposed against Russia.
Thomas Barrow with our partners Deutsche Welle. This is The Pulse. Don't forget, when we return, we'll bring you some more stories. Stay with us. And you're welcome back to The Pulse. Now, Ghana loses about $50 million annually to illegal fishing activities. To actually apprehend culprits, the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture is intensifying its patrol activities on the high seas. Joining me now in studio to look at government's intention in the fisheries industry. Joining me now is the policy analyst, Che Kojo Yamwa, who is the programs manager for Friends of the Nation and Natural Resource Management Civil Society Organization. Kojo, it's good to see you in our studios. Yes. Let's talk about the efforts now. First of all, what's your assessment of the national plan and policies we have so far on the high seas, and how do we need to improve that?
Yes, on the scale of 100, we are not doing so bad. When we look at the national policies and the framework, I'm talking about the legislative framework for fisheries. Mm-hmm. We are doing around 90%, that is good. There are a couple of areas that needs that we work on it, we review them to reflect the national and global and international trends. What it is that the main issue has got to do with the implementation. Right. And that is where there are a couple of challenges. And we know that one is that the issue of commitment in quotes on the part of government has not been adequate. And that has been over 3 decades, about 30 years, government has not been too adequately committed to addressing the issue. When I say commitment, what do I mean? I mean that the resources that is needed to implement the fisheries laws are not adequately provided.
For you, and sorry for cutting through, but for you, what's paramount in fixing things and making things right? Because obviously you're not enthused about the way we're going with our implementation. So what's the problem there, and how do we fix it?
Yes, importantly, there must be the resources, and that's why we are very happy that the minister at the conference had indicated that the government is committed in providing vessels. That is very important. You need to provide capacity for surveillance, capacity for enforcement. You need to be out there on the sea because the sea is wide and big. So that is an important thing. Then also, you need to ensure that the enforcement officers have the required competence and then the skills, and then they have the knowledge as well. Because when they see an illegality, they must be able to know that this is an illegality. And then what evidence do we need to gather? Beside that, importantly, the prosecutorial process is very important. What it is that when vessels or offenders are arrested and taken to the judicial system, if they are not persuasive and deterrent sanctions, then you see that the gain in doing wrong will let others still continue to do wrong. What do I mean by that? For instance, if the sanctions are low, and then the gains in doing wrong in terms of how much economic rent they are able to appropriate is higher, then they will continue to do that. So the prosecutorial process is very important.
But the challenge there with the issue of prosecutions is that you're dealing with sometimes vessels that are not from in-country. You have foreigners doing a lot of activities here on our seas as well. So if that's the challenge, how do we address that? We know there are a number of international conventions and laws that guide all of this, but that is increasingly becoming a challenge for instance, the sector ministry and the agencies that are supposed to enforce the laws. You agree?
Yes. However, the fisheries laws is good in that regard. What it is,
you think it's sufficient?
Yes. What it is that for the fishing trawlers, no foreigner is supposed to own that. So it has to be a partnership with a Ghanaian owning. So there is a Ghanaian, sort of partner to that. So that makes prosecutorial issues quite easier if we want to go strictly by the law.
Yeah, but you agree that it's not all the vessels that belong to someone who's from the country. There are foreigners who are even doing bigger fishing activities, and I'm using that term loosely, as compared to these trawlers that you're referring to, isn't it?
Yes, these trawlers are also the industrial trawlers. So these are also bigger fishing vessels. So it's good that the law, fisheries law, provides that you must have a Ghanaian partner in this, and that is very important. However, we have an amended Fisheries Act 880 that says that the minimum fine for these vessels when they are engaged in illegal fishing, which we call illegal or reported unregulated fishing, must be a minimum of $1 million US. And it's been difficult to apply that section of the law for a lot of the vessels. However, if there is a will, there will be the way. So we believe that there is no use having a law if we cannot implement it to the latter. So we are advocating, encouraging government to ensure that the laws are applied. That makes it deterrent enough. Elsewhere, there are very stricter measures in dealing with illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing, even including confiscation of a whole fishing vessels to the state and others. So we should be able to be bold enough to have some of these things, because when the fish collapses, a lot of the fisher folks along the line, and you could see that about 10% of Ghanaians are directly and indirectly engaged in the fishing. So we lose these benefits in terms of livelihood, in terms of the economics, in terms of food security, because Ghana will also consume a lot of fish. And then when fish is also going down, it's also a national security issue. So dealing with fish, we must approach it with all the seriousness and all the commitment that is needed.
You've been going to the communities as well. As a civil society organization, I'm sure that there are some key issues that are emerging from the engagements that you've been doing with these communities. Well, what's top on the list for you?
Yes, importantly, the measures for close season is very important. However, dealing with the illegal fishing is top on the list. The high harvesting of juvenile fish is high on the list. If we do not arrest these and stop these or reduce this, the measures that we put in place is like taking a basket to sea to fetch water, or taking a basket to fetch water. What it is that when we continue to harvest the fish, the juvenile fish, at the rate they do, I mean the smaller fishes who have not matured, who have not spawned, who have in lay terms lay eggs, that means that we are fishing down the drain and we are not allowing the fish stock to reproduce, to replenish. That is the basic theory of sustainability of natural resources. So we must allow the resource to replenish. So that is top on the agenda. So anything that we do, we must concentrate in getting the illegal fishing, especially those that arrive in harvesting of higher levels of juvenile fish, stop. So we would say that for us, it is no use providing support for fisher folks in terms of highly subsidized premix. we should rather be looking at removing all the illegal nets that is contributing to harvesting the juvenile fishes, and then having a proper replacement scheme in place. When we do this, then we add on the close season and other fisheries management measures. Then we move on, and then we can see the gains, the recovery that we want to see in our fisheries. And it's very important we do that because of the fact that a lot of the coastal communities have nothing to do. They have no economic activity except for fishing. So when fishing goes down, it affects everybody, affects their education, their health, nutrition, everything.
How about the concern that part of the reason has also got to do with the fact that these fisherfolk are not educated enough on the dangers of the activities that they are involved in?
Education has levels, and I would say that there's high sensitization for most of these fisherfolk. When you speak to them, they will tell you that, oh, we are aware these measures are not good. However, the moral suasion doesn't change. We need the enforcement to be in place because we have done a lot of education to the extent that section of fishermen say we have stopped this illegal fishing, and their brothers will continue to use those illegal fishing and have some gains. So why would they stop and stay and be hungry? So they have to join in. So what is very important is that there's need for a commensurate enforcement mechanism that is sustainable to also ensure that people do the right thing. So the voluntary compliance is good, the moral suasion that don't do this is good. However, without a commensurate enforcement mechanism, it makes it difficult even for those who want to comply to continue to comply. So that is why the commitment, the political will to conduct these enforcement must come in. However, we have seen that there have been elements of political negative influence and interferences in enforcement, where arrests are made and you hear some interferences from political act. So those must also be dealt with so that everybody who is caught or anybody who is caught knows that they will face the full rigors of the law.
But there's also this problem about light fishing. It's not necessarily new, but the concern is that the activities are increasing by the day and it's not sustainable. What's your expected advice on that? And are we able to effectively deal with the issue of light fishing?
Yes, light aggregated fishing is something that is also affecting the fisheries resources. However, the issue of the enforcement has got to be an issue. There's a law banning light, so we need to enforce it. And we need to ensure that there is a sustainable mechanism of doing this. If we want to do it, it's very, very easy to do. The fact is that everybody taking light aggregating device to sea start from the land. So when there is mechanism to inspect along the landing sites and then also check at sea, both of these would help address the issue of taking some of these things to sea. So the issue is about a commitment. The strategies are there to apply, and we can easily do that. What is most important is that some of our fisher folks, they go just close to Ivory Coast, and then when they fish there, they do not carry all these illegal fishing gears there. Why? Because the laws are stricter. So
our counterparts are doing quite well in terms of enforcing the law as compared to us.
Yes, and interestingly, 95% of the fisher folks there are Ghanaians, and they are applying with the law there. So it's not about the fisher folks being recalcitrant. It's about the laws being weakly enforced and giving room for fishers to do what they do. So that is why we need to look at that. It's very important that we put in place a sustainable mechanism to do so. Unfortunately for us, we have a fisheries enforcement unit who are ready, very committed. We have the Marine Police who are ready, very committed. We need to support them. We need to resource them. And then we need a political backing for them to do their work without any interference. When that happens, we'll all be happy. The fish we have on our food will be there, and then we can all, embrace ourselves that we have done something greater.
I'm grateful, Che Kojo Yebo, for joining us here on The Pulse. Now, construction of the Trade District Hospital in the Ashanti region is progressing, but at a slow pace. That's according to the District Chief Executive of the Kwauma area, Patrice Kakari, who's actually dissatisfied with the pace of progress on the projects, which is part of the government's Agenda 111. The DC says the project speed could have been far better.
To kickstart the construction of the Agenda 111 project, President Akufo-Addo in August 2021 cut the sod for work to start on the Trade District Hospital in the Kwauma district in the Ashanti region. The president, in his recent State of the Nation address, emphasized the completion of all of the hospital project before he leaves office in 2025. DC Fatuma Kwangoma Prince Kakari told Lab FM work is steadily progressing at the site despite the slow pace. He will, however, not explain the cause of delay.
The pace, as I'll put it, has not been what we expected. But as we can see, work is steadily progressing at the site. From here, I'm going to the site. We had a site meeting yesterday. Everything is going according to plan. But some few skirmishes here and there, we are resolving it. By the close of this month, everything will be resolved. And we'll see how speedy the work will progress.
Each of the Agenda 111 hospitals will be built at the cost of $12.8 million US, and another $4.8 million US would be spent to equip them. Each of the facilities is expected to be completed within 18 months. Meanwhile, District Police Headquarters has been commissioned at Trede to beef up security at the area. The DC says police operations will be enhanced with the new office.
To enhance security, promote businesses, promote safety of citizens in our district. As I indicated during my comments, I made the comments that Achimaka is one of the fastest growing districts in Ashanti region. And therefore, having two district commands in my district is a very welcome and refreshing news. So it will very much enhance and update the security situation in the district.
The police infrastructure was put up by the chief of Trede with the support of other stakeholders. Nana Nubinstra III called on the citizens of Trede to respond to calls for developmental project.
I thank everyone who has contributed to the success of putting up this district police headquarters. Many of the developmental projects you have started, including Trede Market. I am therefore calling on all the citizens of Trede to respond to the calls for developmental projects.
Reporting for Joy News, Obidishio Furiaman for Trede.
Now, here's what we are excited about. In a few weeks from now, we'll be celebrating Easter. And for many, a trip abroad during this season is the perfect way to celebrate. This afternoon, we're introducing to you one great destination, South Africa. In the studio with us now to tell us all about this is Yao Chuks, General Manager of Adansi Travels. Yao, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Blazer.
So let's talk about South Africa and why you need to be there this Easter. What's happening?
We are going to South Africa.
Right.
Beautiful place, beautiful weather, beautiful culture, beautiful people. That's why you need to be there. Besides, it's Africa. I've always maintained we need to see more of Africa. I mean, we need to see ourselves. I mean, you realize what happened during the holidays last time.
Right.
Some countries banned us from coming to their country, but no African country banned us.
Right.
And most importantly, South Africa was ready to open their arms to us. They invited us. I was there personally during the season. So it's a beautiful place.
Right.
People need to come. The times are hot. Come and let's go and de-stress. You can
just go and relax.
You can bear with me. Let's go and relax. It's the holiday season. Let's go and go and have fun. Yeah.
You know, the Middle East, and I'm not comparing necessarily, has become that hotspot destination for a lot of people going there just to go and have fun and for tourism purposes.
Sure.
Why should South Africa be the option for someone now, particularly in this season?
One, because it's closer to Ghana. Two, because it offers everything the Middle East offers. It even caters to more interest than what the Middle East offers. So in case you are interested in ecotourism, I mean, I would rather go to South Africa to see animals in their natural setting, to see natural, things in its natural setting, mountains and co. You don't have to go to places where it's somewhat a little bit cosmetic and artificial. So whichever your interest is, South Africa caters to you. If you want to go and have your honeymoon there, you can go there. If you want to go for shopping, pure shopping, I mean, you have the Sante Mall, the Mall of Africa, the Hyde Park Mall and all.
Yeah.
If you want to go there for history, in case you are a student of history, I mean, you can go to Soweto, and South Africa comes with a lot of history.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Apartheid and a lot of things to learn about.
Exactly, there's a lot of things to learn about, and lots of wonderful, important landmarks to also see. And the end of Africa is in South Africa. That's the Cape of Good Hope.
Right.
So
you need to explore all of that.
You need to explore.
I mean,
it's
just a couple of seconds ago, you saw the package out there for you that you'd be, and in fact, it's on your screens right now. You have a return flight, 6 nights,
Exactly. It's a return flight, but the only thing that has been tweaked on this package is the date by popular demand, because people are like, look, we want to go, but is it possible you can shift the dates a little bit? Our kids are in school, they would vacate and all that. Okay, well, we are a very listening people, so we said, okay, we've shifted the dates now. So it's going to be from the 21st of April to the 28th of April. It covers your flight, it covers your hotel, it covers your breakfast, your tours, it covers your PCR test from here to SA. You know, so it also covers your ground transportation, your airport transfer. So it's going to be very wonderful.
No hassle at all.
No hassle. We are going to the embassy on Friday. We already have 15 people. We are going to the embassy. So come join us and let's all go and have fun. Go and de-stress and come back.
We'll be talking much more about South Africa, but you know that in these times that we find ourselves, COVID, we're not necessarily out of the woods. Restrictions are being eased. Will I be guaranteed of the same fun when I move to South Africa? What measures are you putting in place at Dancy Travels to ensure that when I move there, at least I'll still be able to have fun while keeping our eyes on COVID as well?
It's important. I mean, health is wealth, and we place premium on our health. So what we've done is that everybody's going to be tested. We are going to have a PCR testing to ensure that everybody on the tour is negative with regards to COVID. And in addition, we are also supplying all the PPEs you need. We are giving everybody each nose masks for each and every day you'd be there. We'll give you your hand sanitizer. We've carefully selected hotels which make sure that all these COVID-19 protocols are being observed. So you are very safe. The buses you use in South Africa have been sanitized and all that.
Wow.
So trust me, if you are healthy, that's when you can get to travel with us, and it's important for us.
So let's talk about some of the fun activities that will be happening there.
Yes, the fun activities. So we'll be doing some nights in Sun City, and you should be in Sun City. I don't know if you heard about Sun City. I was there in December. Lovely place. It's like an all-inclusive resort. It has the safari in there, it has a water park in there, you know, some lakes in there. So we'd be there for some nights. Would come to Pretoria, which incidentally is the capital of South Africa. So we'll see the Fort Trekker monument. We'll do a city tour of Pretoria. There's a Ghanaian community there. We'll pass through. Then we come to Joburg, where all the action would happen. So in Joburg, we'd do the Constitutional Hill, we'd do the Soweto tour. That's where you get to see Nelson Mandela's house, which is a stone throw from Desmond Tutu's house.
Wow.
So there's a lot of history in that area.
It's like a whole Pan-African movement.
It's a whole movement. You know, so that's
it's a movement. It's stronger than our apartheid.
And from there, you'd also go to, from there about a minute, you'd see the Hector Peterson monument. So it's a wonderful thing. Then we'll do some shopping as well.
Oh, okay.
We'll be shopping at the Santon Mall.
Is that coming at a cost, or how is that going to be like?
The shopping is coming at, it's not going to come at, well, you know, you should shop while you travel.
You know, so it's a usual
It's part of the package. We are going to give you money to shop, but we'll show you where to get all the deal stuff, and depending on your pockets, budget, and your budget as well. So it's a nice itinerary. Like I said, I was there with a group in December, so it's wonderful.
Let's talk about the cost and what I mean, if there are payment plans. How do you go about this? And for those who are watching right now who are interested in being a part of the trip, what arrangements do you have for them?
Yes, that's good. So the total cost is $1,590, and I'm in a very good mood today, so I'm going to give your listeners some very good discounts. So for those who can call the numbers that I'll put out, they can call now within the next hour. The first 10 people, we are giving them 90.
So you need to be on the lookout for this and pay attention because this is your only opportunity.
So for those who can call now, we are going to give them $90 off.
Wow.
$90 off. It doesn't come that good.
And this is a special package.
It's a special package for JoyNews listeners. You know, so they should call the numbers.
You want to put it out there?
Yes, I want to put it out there. So they should call the number 055 6310404.
You need to take your time and put out the contacts. We'll roll it on the screen so that at least a lot of people will be interested. So we'll mention the number once more for you. We'll roll it on the screens. Feel free and then give us a call, and you'd be enjoying that package. So once more, here we go.
Thank you. So 055 631 0404. Alternatively, they could call 059 55 00817. So they should call for the special discount, $90 off, and come join us to essay or Mzansi.
We're really excited about this. Yeah, that's as we wrap up. There are some more people out there who are wondering whether you have packages for a family. I mean, there are people who are traveling in groups and all of that. What arrangements do you have briefly on that as we wrap up?
Those are the FITs. So they are free independent travelers. So depending on the date they want to go, they should just approach us, call these numbers, and based upon what they want, would arrange a package for them. And trust me, this package is kid-friendly, so all the families should come on board.
So let's talk about other offers that you have. We know that this is not the only kind of trips that you're organizing, all of that, but we're not necessarily digressing from the South African trip. At Adansi Travels, what packages do you have, and what plans do you have in the coming days or months as well? For those who may be interested, maybe someone may miss the South African trip. They may be interested in other activities that you have in store. So what's in the pipeline that you need to review?
Yes, we have a lot in the pipeline, but in the interim, we want to focus much on the African trips.
Okay, you're doing much more Africa,
especially hitting more on the SA route. Trust me, there are lots of places to see in SA. Lots and lots of places. I haven't even gone to Cape Town.
So this will be repeated.
It will be repeated. Okay, so it's not as if you miss this one, I mean, it's the end of the road. No,
you still have an opportunity.
You still have an opportunity. Right. You know, we'll repeat it every 2 months because like I said, we really want Africans to see Africa, and the best place to start from is South Africa.
This is interesting. So do we know about the next schedule?
The next schedule it's going to be in June. So from June, then the next schedule will be in. So usually it's 2 months. 2 months. So August, June. From the June will be August, then 2 months thereafter. So you should come.
Yeah, definitely. We should be on this, and about safety as well. Safety, security. Are those arrangements also guaranteed?
Everything's guaranteed.
Right.
I was there in December. I'm here now. It's trust me, it's a very safe place.
Okay.
Lovely place. Very, very safe. Like I said, the buses we use, the hotels we use. Not as if the hotels are in some ghetto somewhere. No, these are in very secured neighborhoods. When we are moving in the bus. Everything is secured. You understand me? You go and you come back. So it's very safe. South Africa is a safe place. Trust me. I enjoy the place, and the people are beautiful.
Right. And so, for instance, if you take a look at all the arrangements that you're putting in place now, there are a lot of people who I understand are calling the lines already. They want to know what package you have for and for what number. Now, I mean, when we're talking about the numbers, how many people? What's the ceiling like for those who will be getting the discount?
Oh. Well, they should call. I mean, they should call.
Right.
The ceiling would come later, but they should call.
Just give a call.
Even if they are 50 and they wanted a special discount.
Right.
I mean, they should just call.
Okay, so are you open to groups like schools, to churches?
So
this is not just a 1 month thing where you just come
it's
through.
It's not limited to individuals.
So explain that to us.
So we are open to all kinds of groups.
Right.
It could be a church group, it could be a school group, it could be a fan club, you know, whatever. They should just call us and we'll do a package for them. A nice package for them based upon their specific needs. If they feel this one would not even suit them.
Right.
You know, and like I said, SA offers, it caters for all interests, regardless of which group you are going there.
So this may not necessarily just even be about fun as in using that word loosely. Some persons may go there just to even learn and explore.
Exactly.
So this is even good for students groups, I believe.
Exactly, it's good for students.
Have you dealt with some of the groups in the past?
Yes, we have. We have dealt with student groups. We've taken student groups to other destinations.
Right.
In December, when I went to SA, there were a couple of students in there, you know. So, but there were more of families in there. But like I said, any specialized group should just approach us with what they specifically want to do and would tailor it for them in South Africa.
Why should you be the choice? Why should your organization be the choice?
I mean, we are the number one travel and tour out there. I mean, last year we took over 1,000 people in the heat of the pandemic when I mean things were difficult to maneuver, but we took people out there, brought everybody back here safely. Before we take people on our tours, we personally go there to check all the facilities. That's what we do, and we call it a farm tour.
That's exciting. What How did you take that risk, really? In the wake of the COVID, everyone, travel was sinking, and yet you were able to put something.
Because we, like I said, we did our background checks very well. We selected hotels that we know are COVID friendly, hotels which are top notch. They don't joke with safety. We went with airlines which don't joke with COVID protocols. We supplied the important PPEs to our travelers. We first of all also psyched them and fine-tuned their mind on the kind of protection they need to do daily themselves. Whilst we are there, we ensure that each and everybody is accounted for. So you should come to us. We have the track record.
For those who have families, obviously children may not have necessarily the same fun as adults. What packages do you have for such categories of persons?
So like I said, with the SA package, we'll be doing Sun City. Sun City has a game arcade for kids. It has a water park for kids. Have you been on a water park before?
No.
You should. It's very lovely.
Right.
If your kids haven't been to a water park, you should take them. Just take them there and relax. The kids will do their own stuff in there, And like I said, we went on a safari tour. Kids love animals. Kids love animals. So if you can get kids to meet animals, it will be very wonderful.
Yeah. So this sounds good. And so, the pictures you see on your screens now, just explain some of the centers, right?
So the app there is
the bigger one.
The bigger one is Sun City. That's the water park. So what they have there is more of like synchronized waves, sea waves. So it's lovely. So it will be as if you are at the sea with the waves and everything.
Wow.
Now you can see that is Cape Town. So that's our HR. He was in Cape Town with a group in February, this February. So that's Cape Town at the Riviera. So that there is Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi statue in Joburg. So it's a little bit of history. So it's not just traveling for fun, but learning about African history. And of course, you can see the beautiful South African women. So that's the.
As for that one, we'll have that conversation later. but I guess there'll be good music as well too.
Amapiano music. South Africa is the hometown of Amapiano music.
And that's the trend now. That's what's happening now.
The best Amapiano music I heard was in SA, and it was lovely. And it's when we travel to, it's not just about the tours during the day, but the nightlife. So imagine you go to this pub and Amapiano is playing against some nice cocktail or some soft drinks, and it pops a lot.
In fact, there's a lot happening even within in-house JoyNews right now. A lot of people will be on that trip, so you need to join us. Don't forget about this. We need to do a recap. Just remind us, 6 days.
So it's on the 21st to the 28th of April. It's going for $1,590.
Right.
Those who are calling now, special discounts for them.
For you?
Yes. They should come and let's all go and have fun. We are closing the tour tomorrow because we are going to the embassy on Friday. So, it's going to be fun. Yeah.
You need to be on this trip. Yao Chuks, I'm grateful that you've been able to join us. And don't forget that we also need to bring you some more stories. A local plant, as we understand, known in the Akan language as Hama Cherben, has actually been used locally to treat malaria. Now, scientists at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology have actually affirmed its effectiveness against the deadly disease with the discovery of previously unknown substances that have shown potentials in eliminating the parasite.
Salacia debilis, also known as Hamatrebang, is a woody climber. Trebang in Akan refers to the green mamba because of its ability to wrap around plants. This plant for centuries has been used to treat malaria.
Yes, Prof. The scientists, led by PhD student Michael Connie, set out to investigate the scientific basis of its actions.
We have some plants that are ethnomedically or locally used for the treatment of so many ailments and diseases in Ghana. However, we don't have a lot of scientific backing or scientific information to support their use in the local settings. So one of the main reasons why I decided to embark on this project is to be able to establish or set out some scientific basis for the use of these plants locally, and then also be able to come up with scaffolds or compounds that can be further developed into drug candidates that can help with the ongoing issues with malaria.
The work, supervised by Dr. Lawrence Sheningham-Bokwe of the Department of Chemistry and Dr. Edmund Ekwaji of the Department of Pharmacognosy, found that extracts of Salacia debilis was able to kill malaria parasites. They isolated 3 additional substances from Salacia debilis, which had this ability.
So in the investigation, I was able to discover or find that Salacia debilis is able to kill Plasmodium parasites when you're using both in vivo and in vitro assays, or when you're testing it in, in a test tube or in a living organism, which means that the local plants indeed have the ability to kill Plasmodium parasites. And then again, I was also able to isolate 3 compounds from the Salacia debilis or the plants that still have the anti-plasmodia activity. So the substances that I was able to isolate from Salacia debilis have never been reported in scientific literature at all. It is the first time that they are being reported in literature, which means that they are novel. Now the interesting thing about novel compounds is the fact that they may have unique modes of actions, and they may ultimately come out as the next anti-malaria drug that can come on the market.
The scientists would be delighted to see other Ghanaian researchers pick up on our local plants and investigate them. Reporting for JoyNews, Dr. Netta Pashram.
With us here on The Pulse, we take a short break. When we return, we'll bring you sports. Well, and that's all we have for you here on The Pulse. My name is Blair Sogah. Log on to myjoyonline.com. We have updates on our stories there next.